The non-stop radio show.
Non-stop hip-hop.
The hottest underground hip-hop and R&B show on this side of the net.
Yeah, man. Definitely thank you for having me on. I just started this like maybe about 6 months ago. Originally, what got me to the point of wanting to do a Gold School Retro NBA space is that ever since I was a child, man, I could remember living in the projects in the Bronx, and my uncles, what first put me on the basketball was the Knicks versus Bulls, and watching the Portland Trailblazers versus Bulls. You know, Clyde Drexler, Michael Jordan going at it. And, you know, all these other greats that came into the league. And that's what drew me to the game. My uncles were basically like basketball connoisseurs. They first put me on to like watching mixtapes with like Sidney Moncrief and like, you know, Paul Pressey and the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars of the world. So that basically like basketball was a way to basically like get me off the streets because backstory about me, man, like I grew up in a rough neighborhood in the Bronx, projects. 152nd Jackson, which is basically like a danger zone, you know, hotbed of the Bronx. And there was a lot of negativity, a lot of drugs, a lot of violence, crime, high crime area. So basketball basically for me was like a way out of the streets, you know, because I actually got tied into it a little bit and you know, hanging around with the people I shouldn't have hung out with. And basketball is basically what got me out of that life because I started playing in junior high school. I would basically live on the basketball courts. And, you know, just playing with I was about maybe like 13, playing with guys that just came out of prison in their 20s, 30s. And I just grew a love for the game, man. I'm watching it and playing it. And the reason why I came up with the brand Gold School Retro, because last year I started doing Knick content. And I always thought of, you know, like, what could be content, like once the Knick season comes to an end, because eventually it does, what can carry me throughout the year? And I said, you know, well, I always love talking about like the legends, you know, that came before in the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, early 2000s. So I said, maybe I could come up with something that talks about them and keeps their name alive. Because I kind of feel like when we start talking about greats and we start talking about like the LeBrons and the Stephs and the Kawhi Leonards of the world and, you know, the guys that are in the Anthony Davis, the guys that run the league now, people forget about the guys that came before them. And we'll pave the way for the legends that are in the game right now as we speak. So I feel like they don't get enough love, and people kind of like once they retire, they kind of forget about them. Nobody talks about Kareem being an all-time great. Nobody talks about Oscar Robertson as much as I would like to see outside of like, you know, the U on ESPN. But I said, you know, there's not really too much podcasters that are doing that. So I said, I always like wanted to set myself apart, right? So that's what I don't ever want to sound like everybody else. I want to do something that sets myself apart from the rest. So I said, maybe I should do something like a Gold School podcast stuff, right? So I said, okay, what name can I give it, right? Started writing down names, I started narrowing it down. And then I said, okay, you know what? I'll just Gold School Retro sound right now.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Once again, it's your boy Emilio Wegbar. And I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune into tonight's presentation as EJP Entertainment presents the Artist Spotlight. You already know what it is. We at the point of our show where we are joined by tonight's special guest. But before we do so, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you go follow us on IG at EJP_Entertainment to stay up to date with everything related to EJP Entertainment.
Want to be heard on the non-stop radio show? Send us your submissions in MP3 format at Let's Network Musically 212@gmail.com.
This is Non-Stop Radio.